All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, every year on October 27th, World Occupational Therapy Day promotes the mission and goals of occupational therapy. The day also increases awareness of occupational therapists and their global impact. Occupational therapists provide treatment to injured or disabled patients. They also work with children who have special needs or need help in acquiring certain skills. Occupational therapists make recommendations on types of equipment and home modification necessary for senior citizens or those with disabilities. This is a very, very beautiful day. I mean, I wanted to take a story of a woman that I saw in the Punch that talked about how, because she has a disability, that people, when they see her, she's operating a commercial transport, and when she sees, I think we have the video in a minute, it can go on so people would see it, that when people see her, they then now, like, you know, they say, hey, I don't want to use the bus and all of that because she's physically challenged, right? I saw this video, I said, wow, this is really what's it called, disheartening that people don't, you know, because this is one person that you should even support more, because Nigerians, once you see a disabled person, the next thing you're thinking is how you can go on the streets and beg. That a woman has a disability and she's able to say, you know what, how can I still make ends meet decently? I mean, she should be commended. And I mean, that was why I actually picked up this story. But quickly, ladies, occupational therapists, have you been able to work with any, you know, quickly?
You remember Aki Sugar, the band member who used to have issues with his legs and he's getting better with therapy. And he runs a band. I mean, there's ability in disability. And I've seen people that are totally blind and say, don't always assume I need your help. Because they've trained me on how to cope on my own. But like you said, when people show some level of judgment, rejection, and acknowledgement of the disability, it's not necessary.
It's not. Uti, I wanted to hear your thoughts, because you're, I mean, in the UK, I know a friend of mine that the entire family relocated to the UK. Now, the daughter had cerebral palsy, their first child. When she was in Nigeria, she was being treated like, you know, hidden. You never see her. She's always in the room. She's always screaming. Then all of a sudden, she goes to the UK. They're bringing large beds, bringing this. I mean, like, because of that child, the family is being treated like what's it called, like gold, just because of that child. So it was a complete culture shock for them. Now the child that they were trying to hide in the bedroom, all of a sudden they're bringing her out. She's being celebrated. She's the reason that everybody's paying attention to them. They're taking her for swimming classes. Now all that screaming and crying and making noise that she used to do here in Nigeria, you know, so I'm wondering, you know, have we really paid attention, you know, to people that are living, that have all those disabilities? I remember one motherless home I visited in Yaba. I don't wish to go there anymore, because like, it was really, really disheartening, and most of the children there are down with cerebral palsy. But let me hear your thoughts quickly, Uti, then we'll take our news.
Yeah, it's sad really, because I mean, we know that Nigeria has a love-hate relationship with persons with disabilities, and we don't really have the necessary systems to provide the support and healthcare that is required. So the thing for me when it comes to things like this, right, is you have to, again, put Nigeria in context. The able-bodied, the problems, the healthcare issues, we've not even been able to wrap ourselves around the majority. Come to talk of a minority group. It's quite sad that is what it is today. I mean, if you ask for a regular general practitioner, what is the ratio of doctors to the entire populace in Nigeria, the ratio would shock you. So we're clearly not equipped for this. And even abroad, where these things are properly structured, occupational therapy is also a very, it's not a very popular part of healthcare, right? And it's amazing because it actually, we've talked about it only from the perspective of disabled people, but it's so much more than that, because it talked about you having what you need to live a full life. So even as people get older, they help with developing fine motor skills, just even to see people who no longer have the grip to be able to open a jar or things like that. Absolutely. All of that is part of what occupational therapists do. So they're so important, but of course not as celebrated.
Yeah, so we celebrate all of them today. All right, Glory, quickly, your story. I'll come to you, Uti, then.
My story is about NDLEA again. So it goes, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has confiscated 20 billion naira lodged in 103 bank accounts belonging to Lagos socialite and businessman Malinsin Ukatu, who is being held in Ikoyi Custodial Center for drug dealing. The reason why I took this story is just to still reiterate the fact that we honestly, for me, we say I'm encouraged when I see this, but the question I still have in mind is start and finish. So we had the story the last time of the cocaine that was confiscated.
Eventually burnt.
Yes, and so we don't know, I don't know the follow-up on this story. So now we also have this one, and these stories keep coming up where there is the confiscation of drugs and what they are doing, but we don't see the end of the story. What they do
I want to ask a
afterwards.
question. Isn't this the job of EFCC? Why is NDLEA being the one? Yeah, okay, maybe they will freeze and then hand over to EFCC,
Maybe,
because
just
this,
maybe.
you know, yeah, NDLEA. I thought their job stops at drugs. I'm just asking. I don't know.
We don't know what anybody stops at.
Uti,
This
go ahead.
The proceeds are from drugs, then yes, they are responsible. So it's obviously it's a chain. So things like this will take in multiple agencies, but they would be the
Yeah,
the
that's what
driving
I'm saying
force.
now. There will be the eventual, because when you're saying that you don't know where it will end, that's why I'm going that if they probably seize the money, they will probably transfer to an EFCC, who then, like, you know. But Uti, quickly, your story.
So much
Very interesting
quickly
story.
says, I find this one quite hilarious.
Very hilarious.
Nigerians migration overseas, and it says that the federal government has today said it was seeking ways to end the trend of Nigerians relocating abroad, and saying that they intended to correct the trend through industrialization, which could be achieved by synergizing in the area of human capital development. So I would like to just state a few things for the government. Migration is a basic human right. So I get what they're trying to say. Of course, the headline is a bit sensationalized, but the reality of it is that we can't stop people from migrating, and certainly nobody's blind to the realities of what is happening in the country. So I think the government should not, I wouldn't say not concern itself, but rather not focus on the people that are leaving, because that's like saying the cattle has the horses have already bolted, then you're coming to shut the barn. The people that have gone or are in the process of going, consider them gone. Now your thought process should be focused on Nigeria is still a country of 200 million people. There's still a lot of people here, right? And we need to look at how we're going to develop their skills, develop their economy, look at dealing with things like the high levels of unemployment, the lack of education. All of these things are where the government needs to focus its energies, as opposed to trying to deal with the smaller percentage of people who are leaving. I know it's brain drain. I know the types of people that are leaving, they're leaving with skills that we don't, and abilities that we don't want them to take away. But those horses are bolted. So please, let's focus on the people at home and how we can develop more people with more skills.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, the people that are saying we shouldn't japa, with issues we have in Nigeria, the flood that seems to be going everywhere and covering everybody, and the lack of emergency services, how won't we japa?
Let me take my story.
And then we will combine it and do a collab.
Jabi Mall shuts down, right, in Utako area of Abuja. And it's shut down its operations amidst the threat to security in the Federal Capital Territory. And this, they said that they apologized, you know, but they were putting the safety of the shoppers and staff and staff, you know, putting their lives, you know, in consideration when they made this move. So they said to all their value customers, this decision was taken for the overall interest, right, of everyone, both staff and management. Central management is committed in minimizing any disruption. However, the safety of the staff and shoppers remains our high priority. Management is constantly reviewing security situations in consultation with relevant security operatives or authorities, and will inform you when the mall will be reopened. Now, this is coming off the back of the security alert that was sent to the US and the UK embassy, and I hear Canada has joined them as well, that they have sent that they are evacuating their embassy staff members and the citizens, you know, out of Abuja because there is a major security threat. And this is really worrisome for me because what's it called? We are talking about, well, we've not even finished about dealing with all the threats around Boko Haram, kidnapping and all of that. Now a major security threat. Where this thing was really troubling for me was when the embassy started releasing those kind of messages. You know, they cannot just open their mouth and just say something like that without a proper intelligence gathering. So it tells us that we need to really, really be careful.
Okay.
Yeah, quickly.
Being half caste myself, Gloria, I don't know if you're aware, I have dual citizenship. And once you have dual citizenship, when you're in Nigeria or wherever else, you register with the embassy that a citizen of yours is in this country for reasons like this, emergency evacuations and all. Everybody has received emails saying that there might be a need for you to leave Nigeria, emergency services, let us know what you need. Canada sent an email to everybody, those that had addresses abroad and the ones that had in Nigeria, UK, US, and but the Nigerian government, even though it's unconfirmed, the Nigerian government is saying that there's really no problem. Meanwhile, someone is saying that the police are saying they're training their people and they're getting them on security alerts and doing drills. But the representatives of our government for information are saying that there's no issue. Who do we believe? I believe the foreigners that do their intelligence gathering and make sure that things are confirmed before they actually start putting people in panic mode.
No, but we have to all be careful.
We have to be
all
careful.
our security senses has to be heightened right now. Let's be very watchful. All right, so we'll take a break now. When we come back from the break, let's discuss Kanye West. Stay with us. We'll be right back.